No, sanitation was our thing too. But that has now evolved again because we are an exporting nation, and whatever the American system requires, that's what we do. So years ago, we would a person on nights, we would check the sanitation in the departments and see how the sanitation went. Uh, we it was impossible to check the entire plant. If you were on nights, you couldn't. They had operations too that you were supposed to be checking, and maybe do some reports too, and you couldn't see everything. But check every. I mean, pork cuts in some of these plants was a big department in itself. Conveyors running, or conveyors, belts, equipment that would take the fat off the loin and whatnot, and all kinds of equipment. So you couldn't check everything. So the government, in their wisdom, they said, okay, we are going to make the plants responsible for their own sanitation. And they made up lists in every department that to check the table, check the scales, check the this, check that, that you've checked all these things within that particular department. And the foreman or somebody appointed by the foreman was supposed to do this before the operations were started. And if there was any deficiencies, they should clean that before the operation started. Human nature being as it is again, some operations did a good job. They had somebody doing it and checked, and it was quite satisfactory. I've never, in the time I was there, in the last few years, this came in just shortly before I left, and in that time, I don't think I ever saw any operation stop because that designated plant employee or foreman said, this has to be cleaned before we can start, because that's money. I've never seen that, but they were conscientious enough. They did a pretty good job. Other plants, you would get there, and the person that was designated to do that job, he was sitting in the office, and I said, have you got the pre-op report ready? Oh yes, here it is right here. Everything was checked off. Everything was just perfect. The man had never been in the plant at all. He checked it all off, and that was human nature. So it's just like putting the fox in front of the or in charge of the hen house.